बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन कराम, प्रोग्राम वर्ल्ड व्यू A1tv के साथ आपका मेज़बान तहज़ीन अख्तर हाजिर है और आज हमारे मेहमान हैं हमारे बहुत मोहतरम दोस्त फ़लस्तीन के डिप्टी एम्बेसडर जनाब नादिर अल तुर्क। अस्सलामु अलैकुम नादिर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम बदर।
हम इनको अपने शो में खुश आमदीद कहते हैं और हम जानते हैं नाज़रीन के इस वक्त सबसे सुलगता हुआ मसला है गज़ा का मसला, और गज़ा में जो इंसानी जो कत्लेआम है, बहरान है और जीनोसाइड जो कि नस्ल कुशी जिसको कहते हैं वो हो चुका है और 40,000 अब तक शहीद किए जा चुके हैं, जिनमें ख़वातीन भी शामिल हैं, बुज़ुर्ग भी शामिल हैं, मासूम बच्चे भी शामिल हैं बड़ी तादाद में। और बहुत ही दिल को दहला देने वाला एक बयान था जो काफ़ी अर्सा पहले 7 अक्टूबर 23 के बाद ही डेफिनेटली तुर्की में जो खातून अव्वल हैं तैयब अर्दगान साहब की अहलिया, उन्होंने तमाम इस्लामी ममालिक की ख़वातीन अव्वल को बुलाया और उसमें जो बात हुई वो ये थी कि उन्होंने बड़े अफसोस के साथ ये ऐलान किया वहाँ पे कि गज़ा में तालीमी साल ख़त्म हो चुका है। गज़ा में तालीमी साल, एजुकेशनल ईयर इन गज़ा इज़ कम्प्लीटेड बिकॉज़, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जितने स्कूल के बच्चे थे, आगे उन्होंने ये कहा कि ये साल इसलिए इख्तिताम पजीर हो गया है कि तमाम बच्चे शहीद हो चुके हैं। दिल को रुलाने वाला और दिल को दहला देने वाला ये बयान है। ये सूरत हाल हो चुकी है गज़ा में, स्कूलों के स्कूल, पूरी नस्ल जो है उसको शहीद किया जा चुका है और दुनिया जो है अपने दीगर कामों में मसरूफ़ है। लेकिन पाकिस्तान में फ़लस्तीन और गज़ा के हक़ में आवाज़ मुसलसल उठती है और पाकिस्तान की हुकूमत और अवाम, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड द पब्लिक ऑफ पाकिस्तान बोथ आर हैंड इन हैंड विद देयर फ़लस्तीनी ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स स्पेशली इन गज़ा। आज हम नादिर अल तुर्क से ये पूछेंगे कि इस वक्त ताज़ा तरीन सूरत हाल वहाँ पे क्या है। नादिर, I will like to ask you first, what is the latest situation in Gaza regarding the human relief? We are here having different news from different media outlets that the human relief is not being allowed by the Israeli settlers and Israeli army to reach in Gaza and to reach in Rafah camp. There a large number of Gaza people, they are waiting for that.
First of all, thanks a lot, brother, for giving me the honor to be your guest today. For Gaza relief, since 7th of October until now, we're facing a huge problem in that. If you remember, on 9th of October, the defense minister of Israel mentioned that he will block the supply of food, water, fuel, gas, electricity, and everything to Gaza, because who are living there actually for him are human animals, which means they are not deserved to live, not deserved to get any kind of support for their life. The Israelis policy continue with that they refuse to facilitate the human aid to come through their borders, block and create problems for getting the humanitarian aid through Egyptian's borders. Since 8th of May, the Israelis occupied the borders of Rafah, control it completely. According to that, the Egyptian said, we can't cooperate with you with the humanitarian aid because as you power of occupation, this is your responsibility. We can't send the humanitarian aid and make your occupation to Gaza legally. So, according to that, the only way was to facilitate the humanitarian aid from Jordan to Gaza through the Israelis, areas. It is completely
Through
under areas.
Israeli
Yes.
occupied territory.
Yes. The Israeli settlers
from Jordan
to go to West Bank, from
Yes.
West Bank to Gaza.
Yes.
And this is areas are completely under the Israelis' control.
Israeli illegal occupation.
Occupation since 1948 until now.
Yes.
So, the Israeli settlers, by orders from many of the Israeli leaders like Ben Gvir, Smotrich, and others, block the road of that trucks which is holding humanitarian aid for Gaza people, destroy the humanitarian aid, throw it on the ground. And the question, the Israelis don't do anything to stop this criminal actions against humanitarian aid, against the Palestinians in Gaza. The question, if this trucks holding military equipments for the Israelis army who are creating genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza, is the reaction of the Israeli authorities going to be the same? They will not take any actions against the people who are blocking the roads, looting the humanitarian aid, and stop and freezing the opportunity to be supply for the who is needed. This is a question. And the Americans going to take the same action, which is only keep quiet, keep silent, watching without taking any actions. This is the question need to be answered with the international society, by the Israelis government and leaders. What they going to be the action if the case is different?
Yes, sure. Nader, you have shared about the American policy and strategy there. The Americans have set up temporary, set up their seaport just to make some arrangement that the human relief can reach to the Gaza people. This is apparently, we can see it and they claim it, but also we see that there is some other activities are also going on in the garb of that human relief assistance. What do you say?
Actually, many of international organizations, many of the analysis people was afraid of establishing this costly port, which is cost about $320 million to build that temporarily port, because they think that's going to be used for facilitate the transfer and displace of Gaza people out of Gaza. This is what the people of Gaza, Palestinians, are afraid of it. Many of international organizations was afraid of it, and they said it is not going to be active and will not fix the problem. The only way to facilitate the humanitarian aid, it is only two ways. Facilitate the entry of that humanitarian aid through the Gaza borders with Israelis,
yes,
which is under the Israelis' control, and through Egyptian borders, to make it open and free entry for them to fix the humanitarian issue in Gaza, because many of Gaza people are starving to death.
yes.
And we see more than 30 children was died because dry, without water, without food for a long time. Other things, many of people are bleeding to death because there is no equipment, medical equipment to give them a good medical treatment. So the Americans said we're going to build that boat, and this boat, according to my knowledge, in working for 1 week, in that 1 week they only facilitate the entry of 100 trucks, which means each truck cost $3.2 million.
Yes.
This is one case. Second, just 2 days before, the Israelis create a new genocide in Nusayrat refugees camp, because their special forces commando enter to Nusayrat refugees camp using one of the humanitarian aid truck and using the cars of some international organization working in humanitarian aid to make their army, the soldiers undercover under the humanitarian aid, and they came to the area when all the people in the middle of the day, when all the people are in the street, try to find something to feed their children, and they try attack by aircraft from the warships and by their army and their command and their tanks with entry to Gaza, to Nusayrat refugee camp. They killed they succeed to release 4 Israelis prisoners between the Palestinian fighters' hand, was keep them in that area. And during that operation, they killed 274 Palestinians, injured more than 700 Palestinians, and in the end, the surprise that later on when they released them by helicopter, according to the news, they're using the area of the Americans' seaboard, which is temporarily built,
yes,
which means it was used to temporarily.
Yes.
The question in this area, this issue actually, that the president of France, president of the United States of America, Mr. Biden, both of them welcome the release of 4 Israelis prisoners from the Palestinian fighter, and they ignoring the killing of 274 Palestinians, injured 700, operation. Other 3 Israelis prisoners was killed, and the leader of the commando, the Israeli commando, who attack and make this crimes against humanity in Nusayrat refugees camp, was killed during the operation. What's price and why the blood of Palestinians is not equal to the blood of Israelis? Is 4 live Israelis live more important of almost 1,000 live was killed and injured during this operation?
Yes.
And again, this taking us to question: was Mr. Biden follow the propaganda, false and lies of propaganda by Israelis that the Palestinian fighters during 7th of October killed, robbed, and cut the heads of some Israeli children? Info. The question later on, we found that the bodies of Palestinians, when the Israelis attack hospitals in Gaza, Shifa hospitals, and the hospitals in Deir al-Balah, Rafah, Khan Yunis, and all the areas, and we found a lot of people was buried, some of them buried alive. This was not a need to be mentioned by the Americans leaders, like they follow the lives of the Israelis.
Yes, yes.
All the lives of the Israelis are more important.
Yes, another, just for 1 minute I will stop you here. I just want to share with our viewers what you have elaborated, just in 1 minute. नाज़रीन इकराम, नादिर अल तुर्क बता रहे हैं कि गुज़श्ता दिनों इजराइलियों ने उन ट्रकों और कारों का इस्तेमाल किया जो कि इंटरनेशनल जो तंजीमें हैं जो इमदाद के लिए वहाँ पे काम कर रही हैं, और जो ट्रक इमदाद लेके जा रहे हैं उनका गलत इस्तेमाल करते हुए इजरायली फ़ौजी उनमें बैठकर घुस गए गज़ा के अंदर एक कैंप में, जहाँ पे फ़लस्तीनी जो गज़ा के लोग थे फ़लस्तीनी, वो अपने बच्चों के साथ पनाह लिए हुए थे, और ये धोखाधड़ी करके ये लोग वहाँ पे दाखिल हुए, और एक ऐसे वक्त में दाखिल हुए जब तमाम कैंप के जो लोग थे वो अपने बच्चों के लिए, फैमिलियों के लिए कोई खाने पीने का अहतमाम कर रहे थे, और ये कमांडोज थे इजरायली जो इस भेस में गए वहाँ पे, और इन्होंने हमला किया, और इसमें 274 उनको शहीद किया गया। 3 ये अपने जो हॉस्टेज थे यरगमाली वहाँ पे इजरायली, उनको छुड़ाने में कामयाब हुए। 274 को शहीद किया, 700 को ज़ख्मी किया, और नाज़िर ये बता रहे हैं और मीडिया भी रिपोर्ट कर चुका है कि अमेरिकी सदर और फ्रेंच सदर दोनों ने उन 3 इजराइलियों की जो रिहाई है उसका तो खैर मकदम किया, लेकिन ये जो 274 फ़लस्तीनी जो पनाह गज़ीन थे, जो फ़ौजी नहीं थे, जो मुजाहिद नहीं थे, वो बच्चे थे, वो ख़वातीन थे, वो बुज़ुर्ग थे, वो ज़ख्मी थे, उनके कत्ल के ऊपर उन्होंने कोई बात नहीं की। यही वो डबल स्टैंडर्ड है नाज़रीन कराम, जिसको हम मीडिया से उजागर कर रहे हैं, जिस पे पाकिस्तान के लोग बात भी कर रहे हैं। और ये इसी डबल स्टैंडर्ड ने इस दुनिया के अमन को ताराज कर दिया है। और नादर, what is the latest number of martyrdoms there? What is how many people so far? We hear from the media it is the number has increased to 40,000.
The numbers, you know, right now after they destroy and damage the hospital of Gaza, there is 32 hospitals completely damaged by Israel's attack out of 36 hospitals in Gaza Strip. According to that, the number are not 100% right, so we can't give fixed numbers. The numbers right now, they see about 38,000 Palestinians killed by the Israelis, more than 85,000 injured, but actually the number after the end of the war going to be increased maybe to double, because there is many of missing people under the rubble, and many of people was buried alive or buried when they are injured by the Israelis to cover their genocide and their crimes against humanity and war crimes against the Palestinians since the 9th of October until now. So the number is going to be increased very fast. Who knows what's going to be the numbers? So we are need to waiting until this war end and we see the exact the number how much going to be. And really we are sad of the killing of not only Palestinians, but we are sad for any human being life lost, whatever his religion, whatever his color, whatever his nationality. But actually, again, because we are believe as a Palestinians that we are all brother and sister in humanity, all of us are grandsons and daughters of Adam and Eve. According to that, all the humans have equal right to live in peace, stability, and secure life for him, for his children, for his family. But actually, sad to say that who is raising the human rights principles, Americans and some European countries, actually they are supporting the genocide, supporting the crimes against humanity, supporting apartheid system, supporting occupation by supporting the Israelis and being in the wrong side of history.
Yes, that is 100% true, no doubt. और नादरीन नादर ने एलेबोरेट किया है कि इंसानियत जो है वो सबको ज़िंदा रहने का और तरक्की करने का और बच्चों को बड़े होने का हक देती है। फ़लस्तीन में बच्चे कहते हैं कि हम बड़े नहीं होंगे, हमें बड़े होने नहीं दिया जाता। और फ़लस्तीन में ये 7 अक्टूबर 2023 के हमले से पहले भी नाज़रीन कराम सूरत हाल ये थी कि जो ही कोई फ़लस्तीनी बच्चा ज़रा 13-14 साल का हुआ तो उसके ऊपर नज़र रख ली इजरायली अथॉरिटीज़ ने और किसी न किसी बहाने से उसको उठा लिया, शहीद कर दिया, कैद कर दिया, माजूर कर दिया। और इसलिए वहाँ पे ये आम कहा जाता है कि फ़लस्तीनी बच्चे जवान नहीं होते। ये दिलों को चीर देने वाली बात है और पूरी दुनिया में जहाँ जहाँ पे भी इंसान बसते हैं, आप देखें अफ्रीका से आवाज़ उठ रही है और अफ्रीका वाले जो हैं उन्होंने इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस में ये मामला उठाया, जहाँ से फिर फैसला आया कि इज़राइल कत्ल आम का मुर्तकिब हो रहा है। नादर, इन शॉर्ट आई विल ask you and your reply should be very short, we have to take a break. What is your expectation when Pakistan has been selected the non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council, that is the most powerful institution or the section of United Nations? What is the expectations of Palestinians for that?
First of all, I like to appreciate the Pakistani leadership, Pakistani political groups, Pakistani people for their strong and continue permanent support for Palestine since the start of the Palestinian problem. The position of Pakistan is actually stronger than many of other countries, and according to that, Pakistani leadership, Pakistani diplomacy, working hard on favor of Palestine since long time. They are inside the Security Council or not, they are working hard. What we are waiting from them right now to have stronger actions to lead the groups in the United Nations to be in the right side of history, being taking making these groups making more pressure and more lobbying against Americans, British, and the other and Israelis and all the blind support of Israelis in their crimes by make them obey and understand their duties as member of United Nations by following the Charter of United Nations, following the resolutions and of United Nations, following the international law, international humanity law, and human rights principles. Right. What we are waiting for. And we hear something from His Excellency, the Ambassador of Pakistan, that they are working with Muslim Ummah groups in United Nations to do two things. First, freezing the membership of Israel as a member of United Nations, because as everyone knows that Israel is joining United Nations as a member in 1949 according to 273 resolution, which was under two conditions: obey and follow and activate the resolution 181, we speak about two states of the historical land of Palestine, and 194, we speak about right of return of Palestinian refugees to their own properties. Israelis never do that, so according to that, according to international law, they have the right to freeze their membership in United Nations. The second, that to taking actions against the countries who are supply weapons and for the Israelis, and we hope so they are succeed to do same what happened with the apartheid system in South Africa, and to make them bucket them like how was happened with the apartheid system in South Africa, and make them under pressure to follow and obey the international resolutions, international law, right, and stop this genocide, stop these crimes against humanity, because we need to build better future for the next generation, for the region, for the world.
Right, right. नाज़रीन इकराम, एक मुख्तसर वक्फे का वक्त हुआ है, हमारे साथ रहिएगा, हम दोबारा वापस हाजिर होते हैं। जी नाज़रीन, वापस खुशामदीद कहते हैं आपको। A1tv के प्रोग्राम वर्ल्ड व्यू में तज़ीन अख्तर आपसे मुखातिब है, और हमारे मेहमान हैं जनाब नादिर अल तुर्क, डिप्टी एम्बेसडर फ़लस्तीन एम्बेसी। और हम नादिर अल तुर्क से पूछते हैं, वो जो एक बहुत आम बात होती है हमारे यहाँ कि इज़राइल के इर्द गिर्द तमाम मुसलमान ममालिक हैं, तो जाहिर है कि किसी ना किसी रास्ते से इज़राइल को खाने पीने की अशिया, तेल और दीगर चीज़ें पहुँच रही हैं, तो उसमें किसी ना किसी मुसलमान ममालिक का भी किरदार है। अब हम नादिर से ये पूछते हैं, देखते हैं वो क्या कहते हैं। नादिर, Israel, where Israel is getting food, weapons, instruments, oil and petrol, from which source? Israel is surrounded by, from all sides, Israel is surrounded by Muslim countries. And we always say that Muslim Ummah should do this, and Muslim Ummah is supposed to take actions against Israel. But here we say that Israel is getting supply of everything through the land route of the same Muslim countries. We hear from our sources that India is supplying everything to Israel, and India has made a land route from India to UAE, from UAE to Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and then Israeli occupied territories of Palestine. What do you say?
Actually, you know that historical land of Palestine, our location is very unique, and we are in the Red Sea, in the Mediterranean Sea. So there is two ways for the sea. One's from the south through the Red Sea, and one's from the western through the Mediterranean Sea. We, according to what happened right now from Yemen, involved in the war against Gaza, and they attack the ships which are supplying equipment for the Israelis, and even the Americans sent was one of their airplane carrier to be sure that this supply of this way to support that this is safe for the ships, but until now they didn't succeed in that. So the other way is the Mediterranean Sea. They are going to the wrong way around.
Yes.
From Jabal Tariq to
that is very long.
Very long and very costly.
Yes.
And we hear that rumors, but we don't have any evidence about that things. But we hope so, that we hear that even Turkey right now, they freeze the trade agreements with the Israelis, and which is going to be huge loss for the Turkish companies and Turkish government, and we hope so that all Muslim Ummah, not only all Muslim Ummah, because right now the cause of Gaza, cause of Palestine become a humanitarian issue. It has become for all the humans being.
Yes.
So we hope so that again and again the human around the world taking action on the ground to picket Israelis criminal system who don't care about the Palestinians' lives, and they have right now the power after the United Nations taking a decision to mention Israel in the blacklist as one of the countries which killed children. According to that, legally the humans and the countries and the regimes around the world have the power to boycott Israelis and stop supplying things and weapons and food and technology to them, as they are do before with the apartheid system and apartheid regime in South Africa.
Right.
And they are succeeding that by they make that regime under pressure until it is fell down and democracy activate in South Africa. And we have right now a very proud and very creative and very active leadership in South Africa, support human principles, support democracy, support liberty. We hope so. We have the same action against Israelis very soon to have stability and security in our region.
Nader, my last question. Earlier you said that Israeli membership of UN should be seized and freezed. You said freeze. I say that it will be eliminated for a long time, because Israel has violated all the conventions, all the resolutions passed on the Palestinian issue. Now you have shared with us that UNO has blacklisted Israel for Israeli actions against children. So you see that it is the first step towards the freezing or elimination of the membership of Israel from UNO.
The act starting, and His Excellency, as I mentioned before, the ambassador of Pakistan in the United Nations, he mentioned that the steps started, and we hope they will succeed in that. And after Pakistan mentioned as member of the Security Council, they have the opportunity to activate and take a pressure to do this lobbying to raise the human rights and the security for all human beings in equal way. But still we need to keep in mind that the Americans are there as a permanent member of the United Nations. They are there to support the Israelis. Even more, they are support their own cause of the Americans' problems. This reminds me of something, please, I like to mention.
Yes.
That Mr. Biden mentioned many years before he be elected as a president of the United States of America, that Israel is like a project for the Americans, cost them $3 billion every year. Yes. Which is the military aid for the Israelis in that time, which become right now more than $3.8 billion. Israel get from the Americans only more than $300 billion as a military aid.
Okay.
With that, on 7th of October, we found that they are fail in protect themselves against 1,200 fighters, attack them. There was
Yes.
a high-tech failure, security failure, army, military failure, which and later on, when the
Yes.
Iranian attacked the Israelis by drones and rockets, there was need the Americans, British, and French to come and protect them from that muscle, which actually is not that fast, not that strong, which mean that the propaganda of Mr. Biden that Israelis are not costly project for them and they are going to serve their interests in the region, it is fail. Second thing, he said that if Israel is not access, we will create it, because this is going to support the interests of the Americans.
Yes.
If this country, after 76 years of occupation to the land of Palestine, and with the huge support by the Americans, even not only for military, and we see that the student protest in the American university show evidence that Americans even support Israelis by high tech, by huge program of cooperation between the centers of universities in many for high tech and other issues to support the Israelis with the modern and the fresh technology.
Yes.
Okay, so which mean with all of that support, the Israelis fail. Which mean, I think, going to be the advice if there is from wise people to the Americans, they need to looking for other agent, other ally in the region, because Israel failed to become a good ally and a good agent for the Americans and the Western countries, because they are failed to protect themselves. How are they going to protect the interests of their countries?
ओके ओके नाज़रीन कराम, अभी नादर ने जो इख्तिताम किया वो ये था कि इज़राइल और उसके हमायती फेल हो चुके हैं, जिसका अमली मुजाहरा ये था कि 72 साल की तमाम तर फौजी इमदाद के बावजूद इजरायली 1200 फाइटर्स जिन्होंने 7 अक्टूबर 2023 को हमला किया, उनको रोकने में नाकाम हो गए।